天很荣幸能够请到汪东平教授来这里做我们的演讲。那我们今天有一些来宾，所以我用英文介绍比较方便。再说这个，然后本来是我们的这个蔡前主任要来介绍，不过他这个推迟，所以因为我是汪老师的学弟所以也就义不容辞来介绍他一下。可是我就讲，我今天早上讲说，我说我们书也不懂US Constitution，所以来介绍汪老师这是谁也是不合适。但是我想这个我们这个就我所知道的，也许大家比较听得懂一点。汪老师是清华大学物理系毕业，1970年求高一届，然后毕业之后就到这个迈阿密大学。University of Miami, worked with Chris Moore, and Chris Moore is one of modern oceanographer who advocated operational oceanography. That means we should develop oceanography as practical as meteorology. Okay, so but by now I think ocean science or ocean modeling still lag behind atmospheric or meteorology modeling. But I think it's very important, it's increasingly important to recognize the importance of oceanic processes in controlling climate as well as biogeochemical system of the Earth. I think in the latest IPCC report, one important point about climate modeling its failure to simulate important oceanic processes. The one that singled out is the coastal trap wave. I don't know what that is, a coastal trap wave. But according to the report, coastal trap wave is very important in controlling many air-sea exchange, also biogeochemical processes in ocean. And Dongping, well, is exactly the one who developed that research. And at the same time, I think John Hoffman in England developed the same theory and studied the same process. But John was a little bit behind Dongping, and so I think Dongping was the first one to establish this very important phenomenon in coastal ocean. And even now, with IPCC recognizing its importance. Later on, and John and I are working on a book on the ocean biogeochemistry. And incidentally, Dongping also gets interested in ocean biogeochemistry. So I think ocean biogeochemistry, the coupling between biogeochemistry and physics, is getting more and more attention. But today, this is slightly different focus. It's on Katrina, Hurricane Katrina, winds, waves, and currents. Perhaps the next step is to see how much oil production Katrina has stirred up. Okay, so we welcome Dongping.
Thank you. Turn off the light. You can leave some light on up there, I guess. Okay. It's a pleasure here. I see most students. This will be a very general talk, but at the same time, I think it's the very state of art working in this field. I hope what I can do is to get you interest in this field. I think we have a very strong group of people here with this new Institute of Hydrology and Oceanography. So, and this again, linked a lot with atmosphere science too. So I hope I will get you interested in this. I think it's a very interesting topic, and you will see how I will present that. Okay. I think most of you probably know what Hurricane Katrina is. That's certainly the single biggest nature disaster in American modern history. So more than 2,000 people got killed. Your name is here. This is Lake County train. And so basically there's a flooding, storm surge that caused the flooding of New Orleans. And this is a Gulf Coast with a huge waves and storm surge and basically wipe out the entire area. But what I'm going to concentrate today is basically on the big pictures. So what Hurricane Katrina did in the coastal ocean, in the Gulf of Mexico. This is Florida. Miami will be here, and that's Texas is here. And this is a picture of Katrina, I think it's about at August 28, when Katrina is the Category 5 hurricane. The way you can see whether the hurricane is big or not, just look at the eye. Okay? If the eye is well formed, it's a very strong hurricane. Okay? So that's a basic picture. I quote a lot in this talk the book called Perfect Storm. I think many of you at least know the movie, which is made a movie. I'm not quite sure what Chinese, but I guess you will know it. Okay? The Perfect Storm is really a very good book to read. Not a movie itself, but a book itself, novel. Okay? I assume that maybe either a Chinese translation or you can read the English one. It's not hard. They give you a very good idea about ocean, atmosphere, and human being, of course. Human novel, drama. Okay? It's a very nice book, and it has really a tremendous insight. I'm always impressed by people. Sebastian Younger is actually, he's a novelist. He's not a scientist by any means, but he did a very, very careful research by talking to a lot of people. And so the book is, even though not 100% accurate, actually it's a lot of good things about it. And that's one way to get interest in science is actually read a novel, especially a very popular novel. It's very well written. And at least you should see the movie, okay, if you don't see it. Okay, so I just call that. Okay, so this is basically called from the perfect storm. Okay, this is a tempest. They may happen only once in a century, okay, because it's created by so many combination of factors that it could not possibly have been worse. Okay, so that's basically in that book described the perfect storm. That's a sort of hurricane-type force in the North Atlantic Ocean. But Katrina will easily overshadow this one. Okay. And so basically what you see here is a NOAA clip from NOAA. So this is the composite cloud picture of Katrina. The Katrina comes here, across the Florida, and becomes a hurricane and moves along this path. And by this time, August 28, it becomes Category 5 hurricane. Okay? And so then this is about, then eventually it's about Category 3 before you make a landfall here in New Orleans. So one reason why we are interested in looking into the ocean side of Katrina is because the Gulf Coast is also the major part of the U.S. oil supply. Okay? 1/3 of oil coming from this area. You see all these dots, every one of them is an oil platform. Okay? It's quite impressive, right? And you can also see that they actually follow the it's about the 100-meter line here. So basically what happened now is you have built enough. They basically take every oil you can possibly find on the shore. Okay, so now oil company has to move out further onto a kind of slope. Okay, and that's a much more difficult technology. It's also a lot more expensive. Okay, so there's a lot of interest in that. Okay, so basically what oil company has to do is they have to build their platform that can withstand hurricane force, winds, waves, and currents. Okay, so that's of course the topic because you build a big platform sits on kind of slope. That means the water depth right now is about 1,000 meters. You keep going deeper and deeper. Okay? But that's where the oil is. Okay? And so that's a tremendous engineering challenge to do that. And what shows here are the two hurricanes. Okay? Katrina is this one that took place in late August 2005. Then about a month later, you had Hurricane Rita that came this one. Okay? So the two hurricanes caused tremendous damage to the oil platform. So there's a lot of interest from the economic point of view, try to understand how this hurricane-type force, especially on these extreme cases, and how that will affect everything offshore structure. Okay? And so now can focus on this part. So basically my type of talks will basically focus on three buoys, and these three guys. All these triangles are buoys, but these three are very close to the hurricane path. This is the path. So 27 means the beginning of 27. So little UTC 27, August 27, August 28, beginning of 29. Okay? And so these three buoys sit very close to the Katrina. There's many others. We also made comparisons, but I'm not going to talk about it. So we focus on these three buoys. These two are the 10 meters, so these are big guys. 10 meter DBC buoys. And this one sits on the shallow water, 3 meters. Okay? And that's another one. It's one of the only platform that happen to sit right on the Katrina's path. Okay? It's called a Mars. This is owned by BP and the Shell Oil Company. Okay? So Mars is the only one that really sits right at Katrina's path. And these three buoys sit maybe 50 km, 100 km away from the path. Okay? And again, I said before, Katrina is the strongest around this time, and it sort of dies away as it may landfall. So just give you an idea about the oil platform. So this is a Mars platform. Okay? Mars happened to be the most productive oil platform in the Gulf. Okay? Before Katrina, it produced 150,000 barrels of oil a day. Just give you an idea of what that means. Okay? The oil's price today is about $100 a barrel. Okay? So 150,000 barrels a day means $15 million a day. Okay? So if you multiply by 365, that's $5.5 billion a year. Okay? So Taiwan is not there. Everybody want that one will make Taiwan very, very rich. Just one. Okay? So that's just one oil platform. Okay? It's also having the biggest. Okay, so it's a big thing. Okay? And how big that you can also take up some. So this is a supply ship here. Okay? So this is, I don't know the US size. In Americans, this is about 4 football field size. Okay? So it's very, very large platform. And this sits at the 3,000 feet, so it's about 1,000 feet. It sits right on campus slope. Okay? So it's a very big from the economic point. So now again, I quote, whenever you see that I use italic, it means I quote from the perfect storm. Okay, so try to get your interest in the novel. Okay? And so let's read that. Okay? So the perfect says that it's a big storm. Okay? It creating waves 10 stories high, okay? And winds of 120 miles per hour. Okay? The storm whipped the sea in considerable levels few people have ever witnessed. Okay? So he was here, of course, few people. That's in that particular novel, because this fishing boat that went out, of course, never came back. So now we basically try to recreate the story, see what might happen to these people. Okay, but Katrina is exactly the same. Okay, so but I will show you here is along the real data. Okay, so what you see is the three buoys. I just told you. Photo 01 is the one on the right hand side of Katrina Pass. Photo 03 is on the left-hand side. These are both 10 meters in deep ocean. The photo 04 is the one very near the Louisiana coast. It's the shallow one. Okay? So this is actually recorded wind during that period when Katrina went through the Gulf. Okay? So photo 01, photo 03, photo 04. Okay? So Katrina sets a lot of record from the open ocean side. Okay? The photo 03 capsized, so that's why there's no record after that. So I write here, this is the first time ever in NDBC, which is the U.S. government agency that maintains all these buoys. Okay? It's the first time ever a 10-meter buoy actually capsized. Okay? So it must be under tremendous force that eventually makes it capsize. So that's the record. Okay? The photo 040, which is on the shallow water side, measures the highest wave about 55 feet. That's in terms of second wave height. Okay? So typically, when you make measurements, you always measure what approximate wave height. Okay? So the actual wave, if you put individual wave, is about twice, can be twice as big. Okay? So it's 55 feet. That means the actual wave is more than 100 feet. So that's about 10-story high. Okay? So it's 100 feet. It's taller than here. Okay? For this way. So it's a huge wave. Just think about that. Okay? And so this is actually the highest ever recorded in the Gulf. Okay? So Katrina sets a lot of record. Okay? But again, if you remember, all these three buoys, none of them actually sit along the Katrina's path. They all sit outside. Okay? But they already make very big difference. Okay? The other thing to notice is if you just compare photo 01 against photo 04, yes, the wind here is stronger than that, but not by much. Okay? It's a bit stronger. Okay? But look at the wave. Okay. The photo 01, the wave is about maybe 6 or 7 meters, which is quite big, but nothing compared to this one, about 16 meters. Okay. And so there's a strong asymmetric in terms of the ocean response. Okay. So ocean is not just something that wind blow, the wave just go with the wind. Okay. So that's a lot of what we call ocean dynamics that make them look very, very different. Okay? So part of what we try to do, we try to explain and actually try to predict all this stuff. So the first thing is the wind. Okay? The typical when you measure the say wind. Okay? If wind is over the land, it's very easy because you have weather stations. But when wind is over the water, it's very difficult. Okay? Because you have few buoys, but there are too few, especially with something like hurricane type. Okay? And so in this case, basically the Hurricane Research Division that's taught in NOAA in Miami, okay? So they basically flew over there, so there's a lot of reconnaissance flight, okay? Flew over the hurricane and try to construct the best they can do. So they basically take the flight data, they also take maybe buoy data, they take satellite quick stat data, they take whatever they can, okay? And then so try to put them together to get the best they can possibly get, okay? How good that is, no one knows it. Okay? So this is the best one can get today. Okay? So basically put them together. Okay? So what I will show you is basically one is at the 6 o'clock, August 28, the other is 1 day later. So this Katrina basically is almost strong, so this is the Category 5. Okay? And you can see the center one is over 60 meters per second, so that's basically Category 5. Okay? And this is when you drop to about 3 or whatever. Okay? So this is basically what I show you a picture of what the hurricane wind look like at the surface based on best possible synthesis together all the available data. Okay? By the way, you can ask questions, and I'll be happy. You can interrupt me if you want, ask any questions you want, okay? And you can use Chinese, you don't have to use English, okay? I understand that. So basically, that's the two cases. Okay, so that gives you some ideas about how big the wind is. Okay. So what we do is we plan the HRD, the hurricane resistant wind, with GFS. GFS basically is called the global forecast. So that's the regular weather forecast. That's the weather forecast provided by American NSAP, would be like a weather bureau here. Okay? So GFS, the regular wind forecast, is actually useless in terms of hurricane because they don't have the resolution to do it. Okay? And so basically what we do is we take the HRD wind and merge them with the regular GFD wind because if you want to drive a model, you need everywhere. You can't just drive a model with hurricane in the middle. You need wind over everywhere. Okay? So that's basically the forcing part. So we take the GFS wind and then merge them with the HRD hurricane. So now I'll give you some ideas about ocean. Okay? The problem with ocean is that it's very difficult to make a measurement. As I said before, if you are from the atmospheric science background, okay, if you want to know what we look like over the land, it's easy because there's weather stations. Okay? But you can't put weather station or ocean stations in the ocean. That's not possible. Okay? Or too expensive. It's possible, but nobody can afford it. Okay? And so it's very difficult to make a measurement in ocean. So that's always a major problem when we try to do an ocean forecast or ocean analysis because there's very few data that's actually available, the real data. Okay? So this is one case. I just used this picture that I say 1 year of a picture. So the easiest way or the most effective way to measure the ocean surface current is by drop a lot of drifters. Okay? And so this is one particular year, one extraordinary year because typically if you look how many drifters say around the South China Sea on the cruise ship, you can get 10. Okay? This is 400 of them. Okay? And so this is 1 year. The reason why there's so many is because the oil companies interest, so they put a lot of money and threw a lot of drifters into the ocean. Okay? And so if you take all the drift trajectory, that's what you see. Okay? So the color basically shows how fast the current is. And the line, of course, is just total mass, but give you an idea about what current looks like. Okay? So what you see first is quite obvious is this guy. It's very strong current. And this part is what we call the loop current. So once loop current goes through the Gulf of Mexico, it turns around, this is people call the Florida current, and then keep going north to become the Gulf Stream. Okay? And so this, of course, the name just sort of like Crucio on this side. Okay? In the Caribbean, it's massive, but you can still see currents kind of stronger here. Okay? And the Gulf also, you see a lot of mass here. So you see color like that, And this is basically because what happens sometimes the current will shift warm chlorine out. Now, sometimes these things which is warm, because I think all from geoscience background should know you call it this way is high in the middle. Okay, so this is warm. Okay, and so basically what you see is that this is sometimes you will shift it off, become a big ring, big eddy, and will drain toward the west side, and that's why you see some high speed land. Okay, so this gives you an idea about what ocean submersion look like in this part of the world. Okay, because it's difficult for ocean to make a measurement, the only thing we can do actually is today is using satellite. Okay, so this is what we did. Okay, so basically, what I show here is not actually Katrina, but this is one time. But I'll just give you an example. So this is about 1 month. I don't remember exactly now. Okay, so maybe 1 month or 2 weeks of satellite. All the dust line here is the satellite tracks. Okay, so at that time there were 4 satellites. Jason 1. This is Navy satellite, MSS European satellite, TV, T and P, Propac, Poseidon is dead now. It's replaced by Jason, but this is the time when both were there. Okay? So these are 2 bags. This is basically maintained by NASA JPL. And so when you see all this dark line is the satellite there. Okay? So you can see the satellite just like you look at weather map, the surface atmospheric pressure. Basically, exactly the same. Okay? So you basically can only see the surface height, so it's just like surface pressure. Okay? You can't see anything below it. Okay? So what we do here is you take all of them, you just draw some contour. If it's high, you make a red one. If it's low, you make a blue one. Okay? So what you see here is a red one, and that usually means it's a warm eddy and it's a deep warm pool. So it's just not surface warm, it's actually a very deep warm pool. Okay? The problem with satellite is it can only measure the surface height anomaly. What that means is it doesn't know absolute height. Okay? So you can only measure something against the absolute. Okay? So we do not know what absolute is, and that can only come from ocean model, which is very unfortunate. Okay? So in the atmosphere case, when you see the parameter says 1,000 millibar, you know that's exactly 1,000 millibar. Okay? And so in the ocean case, you can't do that. Okay? The other part in the ocean case is, even though you see a lot of dust, this actually covers maybe, as I said before, 2 to 3 weeks. Okay? So in reality, if you look at any moment, it's actually very few that are. Okay? And also they are separated quite far apart. Okay? So they don't really have the solution to tell you the detailed ocean feature. Okay? So that's another limitation in terms of trying to do an ocean forecast. Okay? Not just, that's life. Okay? So, but that's the best one can do. So basically what one does is you take satellite data, okay? Then you take some ocean stuff, and you run your model. Okay? So you try to do the best you can. So basically what I'm going to show you is animation. Again, this is not for hurricane, just give you a general idea what actually look like. Okay? So this is actually done, it's what we call the Princeton Gulf of Mexico model, which basically is the western North Atlantic. So it covers half the western North Atlantic, and it covers basically from equators all the way to 55 degrees north. Okay? So the actual model domain is much bigger than that, would be way over here. Okay? And this is not done by me, we collect together text by Leo Ori and Princeton. Okay? So what I'm going to show you is animation, just give you an idea what if not best, it's close to the best. I would say it's definitely the state of art in terms what the regional ocean survey can be. Okay? So you will see the animation, the color is the season height. So whenever you see red, the current will go anti-cyclonic. Whenever you see blue, that's low, so current will go cyclonic. Okay? And the dash line, the black dot line is the actual drifted trajectory. So I basically use the drift I just showed you, okay, which the year will have the most drifters. So I think give you an idea about what the ocean looks like, and also give you an idea about how good the model really is or how bad the model is. Okay? Because this is a very rare case. In fact, I think this is the only case I know that you actually try to run the model and can compare directly with direct measurements. Okay? Cover the entire area. Okay, so this is actually every 10 days. Okay, so what you see is you can see everything you want to see. So this is a warm green sector. Okay, and so if all the trajectory follows all these radical, then the model is perfect. So you can see sometimes they work very well, sometimes they don't necessarily work. Okay? But you can so this one will separate and drift toward west. Okay? So this is the loop current. It does all kind of tricks. Okay? And it separates also small eddies. Okay?
What are black vectors
the black is actually trajectories of drifters. So this is covers, so it's continuous for 1 week. To just give you an idea of what they look like. So you can see there's a lot of little guys. The model part doesn't know it. Okay? And so sometimes, so this is basically going through, I don't remember, but maybe like 6 months time. Okay? So that gives you some idea about what ocean sediment look like. So you can see the main feature is the loop current. And sometimes they will spread out, send out, or in this case, it drifts westward. Okay? And that's the major feature. But that's sometimes they have cold ring here, and they get all these little features you can duplicate. So that's basically with the data intensity in America, and I think also in the whole world, Gulf of Mexico Station, the only place has that much data. Okay? And the reason again is because of tremendous economic value here. And so that's the only company puts, also government puts a lot of money into collecting data.
Is there data assimilation in this?
It assimilates satellite. It does not assimilate the trajectory. So it assimilates satellite, it assimilates chromatology, and so on and so forth. So the model actually runs continuously today. Okay, so the model itself is actually not running as a non-supervisor, as a forecast. So part of our efficiency is actually trying to dig the NOAA. Those things we know much better than the government. That's the model. Okay.
So for forecasting, you can't use
exactly. You can't. Yeah. So the forecast basically you just stop, say at this time, then you just let the model run free. That means you can't assimilate anybody. But see, for major for the major features like all that's okay now, I hope it will not be repeatable. No, I need some dice out, but I think that's it. Okay, that's okay, just stop here. So, let's see what I have next. Okay, so, so this gives you an idea about what something look like. Okay, I already showed you what wind field look like. So basically, take the GFS and merge. Take HRD merge with wind. So wind again covers the entire model domain, not just for this small area. And then this is the separation field that actually look like. So basically what you have is the wind field grow over the model for the Katrina field. Okay. The Katrina is action storm. So when you find that, I just give you an example. This. Okay. So I just show you for 1 week period. Okay, so this from 25th to 31. And the two buoys, O1 is one on the left, O3 is one on the right. Okay? So this is actually the model output at that two buoys at the surface. What actually look like for the model. Okay? So when you see here, for 2.003, this is when the current base almost shoots up. Okay? And you see this oscillation, and if you look at the period, it's about 1 day, so this is all inertial motions. Okay? As you probably know that, you should know that. So whenever you give the ocean a big certain pause, the ocean basic response simply just runs clockwise. That's the inertial motion. So what you see is basically the ocean response will made out of these huge inertial motions. Okay, the local scale is 2 meters per second. The typical ocean current we talk about more like a ½ meter per second will be considered big. Okay? So this is very, very big currents. Okay? And you also see the whole thing jumps, like in this case, jump to here. Okay? So what we do is just make life easier. So basically, take every day and decompose them into a mean field, so it's daily mean, and plus the inertial motion. Okay, so we just fit them with harmonic fit with inertial motion. And I will show you is basically what mean look like and what inertial look like. So this is what mean look like for the 4 days, the 4 key days. Okay, so this is daily average for August 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay. The dot here is just correct. So between these two dots is where the hurricane was on 27. So then these two dots will be on 28. This will be begin 29. End of 29 hurricanes only made landfall. And by 30, of course, hurricanes only cut. And so what you see here, the surface current plus the sea surface height. Okay? So the red one is the loop current. This is the loop current eddies that shed off. Okay? And then all the other ones is basically what I call the wind-driven current. That's the currents basically follow the wind. When the wind blows, current is some kind of frictional response. And that function is, you can see here, and it's kind of here, and there, and then wind down, the current comes. Of course, in red is a lot more complicated than that. Okay? But that gives you just an idea, and they're very, very big. Okay? This is 1 second, so this current here is like a 2 meters. So it's a very strong current that produced by the hurricane. Okay? And just to give you an idea, this is the day when Louisiana got flooded. You can see the hurricane sits here, so all the currents here is moving toward the coast. So it generates huge storm surges along the coast, including Lake Pontchartrain, and eventually cause failure of the levee system in the lake. And so I think now we want to tell you, even though our focus is on open parts, but if you really want to forecast the storm surge or anything near the coast, you have to know what's outside, because everything near the coast is driven by whatever from outside. It's not really locally jammed. Okay? So this is to give you an idea about what wind currents, wind-driven current look like. This gives you an idea about what inertia. When you guys show a picture, you also have this huge inertial current being generated. So what I plot here is empty inertial current again. This is here, there, and there. Okay? So unlike the main current, first thing you notice, the inertial current is much stronger to the right of the wind. Okay? The wind is almost symmetric on the left and right side. But inertial current, you can see this is that example. They are all on the right-hand side of the wind. Okay? So they are not symmetric, unless the ocean dynamics play some role. So it's not down feature, just wind turn down. Okay? So basically, everything is actually sits on the right-hand side. That's one thing. The other thing you will notice that even the wind is down, the inertial moment is still there. So like this case, it still has 1 meter per second. It's still very strong, even though the wind is already gone. Okay? So that's very different from a case like that. When the wind goes, everybody's gone. All you left is basically the loop current and warm core wind. Okay? But in this case, you're still very large inertial current. And if you look details, there's a lot of holes here, and that's a lot more complicated. And what happened is the inertial currents, even though they mostly sit on the surface, they can actually escape, penetrate down. Okay? And this is a very important phenomenon nowadays. I probably come to the end to talk about. But you just trust me, this is based on the model output. So this shows that some feature here, the inertial currents actually escape from the surface. So they are actually going down into the subsurface. So when you look at the surface, they're not there anymore. But this part is still sitting like whole here. That's actually a small eddy system. And this big hole, this is actually what loop current is. Okay? So they actually, that's again ocean dynamics. So I just give you a quick, that's very easy to explain why that this chart is symmetric. Okay? So if you look, I just go back here. Okay? So again, I said before, yes, the unicorn all sits on the right-hand side. Okay? So what happens is the following. So if you are on the right-hand side of the hurricane, okay, so like a 4201, so if on the left-hand side, start with this guy. So if on the 4201 side, when hurricane comes, first you see the wind coming from north. Okay, the hurricane is a cyclonic feature, so the wind comes from north. As the hurricane gets closer to you, the wind turns this way, coming from the south. Okay, and then pass away. So if you just sit in one place, you see the wind vector actually located counterclockwise. Okay? But if you sit on the right-hand side of the hurricane, okay, so what you see is the wind will first come from southeast, because the hurricane is a big cyclonic feature. So it comes from southeast, and then as hurricane passes you, you will turn this way. Okay? The wind will come from southwest. And so the wind actually turns clockwise. Okay? The inertial motion only turn one direction. It's always clockwise because of Earth's rotation. Okay? And so for the wind sitting on the right-hand side, okay, the inertial motion will basically go with the wind. Okay? And therefore wind basically continues to pump energy into inertial motion. And therefore inertial gets very, very big. Okay? But on the left-hand side of hurricane path, the wind works against inertial motion. So inertial motion wants to turn clockwise. Wind say no, you have to turn counterclockwise. And that basically kills inertial motion. Okay? And that's the reason why you see this huge asymmetric in two sides. So even though you can see in this case, the wind actually is about the same. Wind is always a little bit stronger on the right-hand side. But the the huge difference largely due to the ocean dynamics. It's not due to the wind itself. Okay? So that's basically the currents. Okay, so I told you the wind. Okay, I basically shows you the currents. The third part of it shows the waves. Okay, so what we do is that now basically we have a model which runs shows you what the currents look like. The model is driven by the wind. A simulate sound like that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to add a wave on top of this model. Okay, so we basically use the standard wave which is known as the wave watch 3. Which is basically standard wave model that used by NSAP is also used by Weather Bureau here. Okay. And so what we did different from what other people or the Weather Bureau does here. Of course, our wave model is driven by this woodwind, which basically merged HRD plus this mistake. It's actually a global forecast system, GFS. Okay. And also you have because we are not weather service, so we can afford in very, very high resolution. So our wave model is a much higher resolution than a typical weather service would provide. And we also include ocean currents because our current model actually predict what currents look like. So what you're going to see now is the animation of what wave look like. Okay, so what the currents look like. Now you're going to see what wave look like. Okay? So what I show here, the two things you're going to see. The color is actually in terms of wave period. Okay? In case you don't know much about wave, is that the swell, the long waves, okay, has a longer period. So basically, people are interested in the long waves. Okay? So when you see it become more red, that means the longer waves. This is the waves that wind produces and can propagate a very long distance. Okay? The big ice. Okay? Then you also see the contours that which shows how big the wave is in terms of its amplitude. So each contour is 2 meters. So you see more contours, that means the wave is bigger. Okay? So what I'm going to show is animation of the model output of these two things. Okay? So the hurricane is coming in this day 26. Okay, hurricane, now you can see the waves, this hurricane eye. So now you get the small contours as well. So the red one is the swells. You can see the wave already propagate almost big Texas now. And now there's a big hurricane Category 5. You see more contours. Okay? And the other thing you notice, you can see wave is always bigger also on the right-hand side of the hurricane. Okay? And so now the hurricane is already made landfall, so wave is now you can see the field is very long, 14 seconds. So actually, if you go to the beach, if you see wave that's like 10 or 12 seconds, it's almost guaranteed they are generated by hurricane somewhere. Okay? Because typical wind will not generate probably about 6 seconds or even less. Okay? So if you see very long waves come in, there must be a typhoon somewhere that should produce that somewhere and propagate to this. So again, to show you two examples, let's take it from there. Okay? So again, same time, I'll show you the same time. Okay? So this is 28, this is 29. This is one of them. So 28 is for the hurricane's biggest, almost biggest. So you can see the maximum wave here is about over 50 meters. Okay? And this is also big, it's even bigger, 16, this is about 20 meters. Okay? And again, the red color is the wave period, so this is big, very long period. This period, 15 seconds, only hurricane can make such long waves. The other thing that you notice, the one that I mentioned, is that the hurricane path goes like that. You can see waves again is much bigger on the right-hand side of the hurricane than the left-hand side, just like inertial motion. Okay? This is even more obvious. The hurricane center will be here, but you can see all the big waves that's in there. And that's again part of the reason why the Gulf Coast that we talk. Okay? You can't believe this one, okay? Because one wave gets from very shallow water, it breaks. Okay? So the wave watch 3 does not reach to the shallow water, so we don't believe that. Very because but you can see a typical shallow water wave model will take this as input. The forcing comes from open ocean. Okay? Again, wave is not generally local, they come from outside. Okay? And so you have more than 10 meter wave coming towards the Gulf Coast. So even if they're going to break, so basically turn the whole shallow area into wave breaking zone. That's why it's so bad. And so now the question you want to ask is why wave is much bigger on the right-hand side than on the left-hand side. And this thing will be also very easy. Okay? So again, you really want to study ocean or hydrology, okay? Ocean science is really very simple. They're not that hard, okay? And the model is already been built, so you can always run them and somebody will know it, okay? So I see the important which I understand how it works, okay? And so the reason why is they are much bigger on the right-hand side is that you can see when wind blows over the waves, okay? So wave will go with the wind. Okay? So if the wave is on the right-hand side of the wind, the hurricane also goes toward this side, currently probably this way. So wind is always right on top of the wave. So you make the wave bigger and bigger. Okay? But if you are on the left-hand side, okay, it generates wind, okay, but the wind will go toward the north in this case, okay, but the wave will propagate the opposite directions. And so they're against each other. And so the wave only sees the wind in the beginning and sky. Okay? And so that's the main reason why. So in technical terms, we call it a flash. In other words, the wave not only depends on the wind speed, it also depends on the flash. Okay? So if the wave sees the winds for a long time, then it's much bigger. And that's the reason why the wave is so big here compared to station there. Both are the same side. Okay? Even though the local wind is about the same on both, but the buoy sits here, sees all the continuous being force as the wind goes this way. And that's why it's such a huge waves on the end. Okay? But on the other side, it's actually much weaker. So that's way. Okay? So basically what I show is I have shown you the wind, the currents, and waves. Okay? So next thing I'm going to show is how good it really is. So this is a comparison with the wave model and the buoy observations. Okay? So again, I will show 3 stations. O1 is on the right, O2 on the left, and the 4O is near the coast. Okay? So on the top is the wave height, and the bottom is the wave period. Okay? And blue is the buoy and very small. Okay? So for this case, of course, the buoy is dead, but the model, of course, continues to predict it. Okay? So one thing you can tell is the wave model actually works very, very well. Okay? It predicts the amplitude and the period almost perfect. Okay? And again, I told you I only show 3 stations. If you take all the other stations, you will see essentially the same results. Okay? These are 3 biggest ones. Okay? So basically what says that the wave model actually works very, very well in this case. Okay? You can also use satellite to compare with waves. Remember I told you the temperature data not only give you system height, you can measure system height, so you can also see the waves. Okay? So basically what I did is I took all the RT data that during that period of time that when this passed. Okay? So all these blue lines are temperature data. Okay? So basically now instead of looking the mean sea surface height, we look at the wave parts for this. And so this part is the altimetry, and this is the model. Okay? And again, you can see that all six, if you go to gamma, got is 1.9. So again, it works very well. Okay? But you can't just look at this one. You have to be careful. Whenever you look correlation, you not only compare the gamma, you also should see the slope. Okay? Because that tells you how well real prediction is. So in this case, if it's a perfect prediction, the slope should be 1. Okay? And what you see is actually the model prediction is bigger. It's 1.12. So this is 12% higher than altimetry measures. Okay? Then I write this says is actually model spectral altimetry. Okay? So in this case, what happens, altimetry has known errors because of measurements. Okay? And the other problem with altimetry, as you probably notice here, is that it starts at about 8 meters. Okay? The actual wave is much bigger than that. Okay? And the problem is once you go above 8 meters, the backscatter, the data is too noisy. So they can't really process them. So this is very mild. Okay? And that's very unfortunate. Okay? One more thing I will say, and it will come back to end is, and right now, basically, people use altimetry data to calibrate wave model. Okay? And that's probably part of why it looks so good. Okay? But the range is limited. You know, it's 8 meters. If you remember the one I showed before, that's much higher. That's about 16, 18 meters. 8 meters will be just about here. Okay? So that's unfortunate. Satellite, because satellite can see a much bigger area, unlike the buoy just pulling measurements. But the satellite, unfortunately, at least at this stage, cannot. Maybe the future altimetry will be good enough to push them towards So basically, what I try to convince you is the wave model works very, very well. Okay? So now we get to more serious questions. So what we did, of course, is research. Actually, we were asked to do that because oil company has seen a major damage. And so they take the National Hurricane Center's analysis, try to see if they can explain why they had a problem. And they conclude that they don't trust the weather service. Okay? So we were asked as the expert to try to do it again. Okay, see if we can make an effort. Okay? So what we try to do now is actually try to compare this real estate environment. Try to compare ours versus the National Weather Service. Okay? So remember I told you that if you take a standard weather forecast model, it's no good. It doesn't do any hurricane. Okay? Whether you use ECMWF, use the US N7. But in US, actually, GFDL, for instance, GFDL also that's the people who actually have the expertise hurricane model. So they have experimental hurricane model. So they are still not hard and set. But when this hurricane comes, the GFDL will provide the hurricane model output going into the national, the NSET, the weather service, and make forecast. So what we try to do is we take the GFDL, so we take the GFDL wind and compare with our merged wind. Okay? So this is the merged wind. And this is actually the GFDL, unlike the merge, is actually come from market prediction. Okay, so you can imagine it's much harder than just take real data. Okay. So this gives you an idea about how the two compare. Okay. So GFDL wind actually, in the Katrina case, actually did a very, very good job from forecast point of view because they actually predict on the past rather well. This is analysis of prediction, not an issue. Okay. But even with that, you can tell the GFDL wind is not the color gives you the strength. Okay. And so you can see this quote-unquote observed wind is much stronger, and the center is actually about the same. GFDL is bigger, wider. Okay, it was hard to resolve the hurricane annual paths, but they are not as strong. You can see this is here broad and this is on green. Okay, so this, if you believe them, this is what I call the observed wind. This is the best you can get from a model today. I don't believe there's any other model that's better than this. Okay? So that tells that at this stage, the game, in terms of making forecast or analysis of hurricane wind, we still have some room to grow, and there's still some good. So using the GFDL wind, one can also make a prediction about what wave field will come. So what we're going to show here is that we run the whole thing. We just show the maximum wind. So at any particular location, it's a swath. Okay? So any particular location, you look at over this whole hurricane period, when the wave is biggest, you pick the numbers. Okay? So the idea, of course, this is very important from the oil company point of view because they want to see the damage and it's the biggest one. Okay? So on the left-hand side is our results. Okay? So basically, the animation you see, now I pick every point where the wave is biggest and put them all together. Okay? Again, you can see the wave is bigger on the right-hand side, as I told you. So this is the 10, 12, each one is 2 meters. So once you pick the top, it's actually about 24 meters. It's huge. And the one that sets the record actually sits here. Okay? So there's now actually not that big compared to the real big one, which sits right at the pass. Okay? So the only edge is the North Atlantic hurricane. So this is the official analysis from the Hurricane Center, the weather service, okay? And this is what you get. Okay? So you can see they're actually pretty good. Okay? They also get very big in the middle. It's also bigger on the right-hand side, so I told you that. Below is the same model. But you can see their spatial extent is not as much as this. Okay? You see our 10s here, their 10 is right over here. Okay? So they don't extend as far as we are. So I think that's maybe part of the problem. When the oil company try to assess the damage, they use this one, and from there they don't give them what they believe. Okay? So this basically defines, again, tell you basically what we know today in terms how the hurricane. So this is the official government forecast. This is what we did. So here comes the bottom line. Okay. So Mars, we might told you before, was actually designed to withstand a hurricane force winds of 70 feet, 71 feet, and winds of 140 miles per hour simultaneously. So Mars platform itself costs more than $1 billion to build. And so it actually collapsed. So that's why people are interested. Okay, we might told you that the Mars revenue is about $15 million a day. So when Mars collapsed, it takes oil company about 1.5 years. They actually build a little platform next to it because they want to have people working around the clock 24 hours a day. You have like several hundred people working on this to bring them back. Okay? It takes 1.5 years to bring them back. If you recall, Mars in terms of oil they produce in 1 year, it was about $5.5 billion. Okay? So it's a very big business. Okay? And this is what happened on Mars. Okay? So based on our model results, okay, oil company does not want to tell us exactly where Mars collapsed, okay? But it's around that time. Okay? So based on all model results, at August 29 at 4 o'clock in the morning, UTC, okay, I'll predict the wave height on our model is 66 feet, and wind at that time based on HRD is 128 miles per hour. Okay? So that's awfully close to what you see here. Okay? Of course, there's no possibility that HRD wind is actually exactly at that location, and there's also no possibility the model predicts that is actually the location. Okay? But it's very close that we believe we are probably correct. Okay? So now Mars actually sees an ocean force that exceeds its design. So far, everything looks great. Okay? So now, so I hope I'll get you interested in that. Okay? So now I'm going to talk about a little bit of real science. Okay? So far, I'm real science, but I'll show you. So instead of taking the real science, I will show you something about the problem of science. I think that's probably more interesting. Okay? Then I will code that first. Okay? So this again from the perfect storm. They say the wind keeps increasing until it peaks at 58 knots. Okay? This, of course, is author that imagined what happened when this fishing boat hit this big one. Okay? And the waves are so large that they block and I can't say that word, and I can't say this word. And I think you all know about that. That's the one that actually measured wind. And the gusts are probably reaching 90 knots. Okay? So what happens, I will explain this picture. Okay? Imagine, okay, the waves is 10 stories high. Okay? The buoy that actually is supposed to measure this thickness or wind or waves is 10 meters high. Okay? So the buoy will be that little big if you draw the wave like that. Okay? So the simple thing you ask, what buoy actually measures? Does it really measure the wind? Okay, so that's one question. Okay? So what we did here, kind of interesting. So we plot the buoy wind against the HRD wind at the buoy locations. Okay, so HRD, I told you this is 400. So this is supposed to be the observed wind. Okay, I'll tell you later what observed actually is. Okay, so this is the buoy, okay, and they are highly correlated. So it means when they put it together, they know what they're doing. Okay, again, I told you gamma is not renowned. We also have a slope. Okay. The slope is actually 0.77. Okay. It says buoy measure wind is actually a lot smaller, less by 20% less than the HRD wind, if you believe this is real. Okay. And so now you say what happens? Okay. So in this ideal case, okay, what happens is the HRD wind is actually much closer to the wind gust. Okay. The typical buoy measurement is you measure the wind, okay, for 5 minutes average, and that's what we typically call buoy wind, and that's the wind field that being assimilated into the weather models, and that's the wind field that used to drive all ocean model, weather model. Okay. But in this particular case, HRD wind is actually much closer to the wind gust. The wind gust, again, is the basic wind of 5 minutes. You pick out the strongest wind in 5 seconds. So of course that will be bigger. Okay? And so they're actually bigger in this case by about 30%. Okay? So now here comes a problem. You can see. And by we drive the wave model with this wind, okay, and we drive everybody with this wind. Okay, but this is with a wind that everybody should use. If you talk any ocean modelers and ask them what kind of wind you use, they all use this one. Okay, so you see our models look great. I think I convinced you they look very, very good. Okay? But we are actually using the wrong wind. Okay, so that's pretty bad, right? So the wrong wind actually gave the good results. Okay? And to try to make you feel even worse is the response is not from the wind, because you can see the wind stress is square of the wind. Right? So if this is off by 0.77, you take square of them, that becomes about 0.5. Okay? So that means we are actually using a wind that's much stronger than any of the ocean model you read will use. Okay? But it actually gives you good results. Okay? So something is wrong with somebody. Okay? So that's the interesting question. Okay? To make life even worse, this picture. So remember I told you, you know the wind speed, okay? But what actually drives the ocean is the wind stress. Okay? So actually the wind stress is typical wind stress equal to wind speed squared of I told you. Okay? But that's also this magic constant called the drag coefficient, okay? Which depends on the wind. A lot of people are working on the wind drag coefficient. Okay? So now, okay, I will start with this one. Anyway, I will end with that one. So basically, this is the GPS zone. This is typical now people, the atmosphere people. So you fly over the hurricane and you drop GPS zone and measure the wind velocity as the GPS zone drops. And then you assume a boundary layer, and so you can extrapolate down to 10 meters, which is basically the ocean, the wind. Okay? So according to the GPS zone observations, the drag coefficient, this is the wind speed dependence, it increases about linearly and then saturate. The reason is because it's very common. Once the wind gets that big, ocean no longer like a nice surface. Okay? It's dry capping all that stuff. So we have a new faculty member from the institute that's actually interested in this kind of questions. Okay? So this is what people found. This is dialectical conform wave model. The wave model says CD goes this way. So once you go to these regions, okay, like the big wind, okay, the wave model CD is more than twice as big as the real observed CD is. Okay? So remember I told you that wave model works perfectly. Okay? Except it's wrong. Okay? So here again I quote from the number. Okay? So the scientists understand how it works, but not exactly how huge ones work. Okay? The scientists tend to extrapolate things because it's so difficult to make measurements under actual conditions. So everybody go out and make wave measures, and you measure them from waves are 5 meters, 3 meters, and you do your calibration to all your model development. All the works on less than 8 meters. Okay? And all of a sudden, it comes big wind, big hurricanes, and you have to go all the way to this ranges. Okay? Science has no idea. But they all carry their model. So their model actually works very well.
Is the friction velocity equal to the wave model?
Yeah, the wave model actually has a wave boundary layer. So they actually calculate that as a part of wave output. So wave model actually takes the wind speed at 10 meters. The wave model itself has a wave boundary layer. So they actually predict what CD should be. But that boundary layer is actually not very good because this line is actually essentially the same as the traditional empirical model. So what happened is the wave boundary model is also proved to make it look like traditional. Okay. So this is the most important message in my talk. Okay.
No, it's the wave model does not calculate friction velocity.
Say again?
So the wave model it does not compute the friction velocity.
No, it does.
It does.
So wave model take the wind at 10 meters.
So it's based on boundary layer.
So wave model actually has a boundary layer. Wave model actually does the couple. Not couple. The wave model actually has a boundary layer that actually take input from the wave height as a part of the boundary.
But that's for the purpose of the computer. wind stress.
Yeah.
In order to
force.
calculate the wave.
So wave model input is actually wind. Wave model input is physics. So I take this wind, which I told you, if I'm right, then everybody else is wrong. Right? So that's the problem. Okay? So now, but even that, the wave model itself is very wrong. That's what I'm trying to say. And so that's what I try to say here. So the fact that model works well, does that mean it's right? I hope that's clear to everybody, okay? Because that's make our science interesting, right? Because if you're a chemist, you do something, you have to repeat the same experiment in your lab, so control experiment. Okay? So you can't be right and be wrong. It's not possible. Okay? But when you are nature scientist, like you do atmosphere, you do ocean, okay? There's a lot, so you can't measure them. Okay? So you can tune a model and make them work right. In fact, they go pretty wrong. Okay? Because you can't measure them. Okay? So that's so again, I think we should read so the person clearly has idea about something doesn't really know much. Okay? So I think that makes sense, interesting. So that's here. And I add this one. So I say the silicon wave height actually is proportional to frequency of this square. Okay? So it's the same thing. So it's actually proportional to CD times U squared. So U is off by U squared off by 50%. CD is off by another factor 2. So it's off by factor 4. That's really off. Just think about it. But it actually gives you perfect results. So now the quantum count is really perfect now. Okay? So remember okay, let me get back. So look at that. So basically, if I try to show you, okay, let me just go conclude. So now try to conclude. Okay. So there's several things that we know or we don't. Okay. The first thing is, remember I told you the inertial currents are much bigger on the right-hand side of the hurricane. Okay. The waves are also much bigger on the right-hand side curve. Okay. So there must be a lot more mixing on the right-hand side curve. Okay. And so that's basically the first thing. Okay. So what I show picture is this is before and this after. You can see this cold water. This is the C7 SST. See SST. Okay. So you can see there's a strong mixing on the right-hand side of the hurricanes. Okay. And they are actually due to this effect. Okay. So these things I mentioned before, it's become a very popular topic because Kerry Emanuel, who is the authority of hurricanes, now argue that hurricane may be very important from a climate point of view, and not only from personal climate, but also from paleoclimate point of view, that the mixing with the hurricane may actually be effective. Okay? And so mixing with a hurricane, what I try to say is actually this one. Okay. But now in case you are interested in Kerry Emanuel theory, none of this has been considered in the theory. So these are actually really important. So that's the first thing. The second thing, I think I already told you that the LC exchange process is poorly understood because it's so difficult to make measurements. And so we took whatever things we can measure and extrapolate to things we don't know. And then what we did is tune the model and make them very good. Okay? And so here comes my last thing. Remember I tried to show you the Mars case that I said that it looked like we were right. Okay? But the reality is all the wave model actually divided basically for the wave height that is like less than 8 meters. So we actually very so few that are on this action condition. So we don't really know how good it is. This may be just a pure luck. Okay. So that's a big question. Okay. And so that's the third part. So when we conclude all that, we make a statement. We say that people really have to be serious to go out to measure extreme waves under the strong hurricanes. Okay? And that whole article is not with the detail actually appear, I don't know when, hopefully early next year. So in case you're interested, you can always find out. Okay, it's okay.
Well, we can allow a few, one or two short questions. So we have the double header.
Well, I think this is a kind of difficult problem we are facing in the ocean atmosphere interaction. In the atmospheric modeling, we prescribe boundary condition. So the boundary layer process in the model, the problem with it doesn't really show up. The same thing in the ocean. You give the surface exposing, so the ocean model responds to it. As you are showing the problem here. But it doesn't really show up as we easily show up. But if you couple the two together, then right away we have a lot of problems.
Yeah, that's even worse. But I think that's a very good point. I think that what I really try to say, as I recall that, is that the fact that model works, that measurement is right. That's the key part. Because the model is developed over a long time. But the model was developed maybe 10 or 15 years ago, like weather model developed a long time ago. So what people does is people continue to try to improve the model. The model was not developed today with today's technology. So people keep improving the model. Okay? For example, the thermal scale. All atmosphere model driven by prescribed SST. Okay? But that's really nonsense if you are really ocean people, okay? Because the SST will change with the atmospheric force, okay? And more importantly, when they say prescribed SST, the SST actually has no resolution. It's very poorly resolved. It's all large scale, and minimum just cartography. But the problem is that the model has been developed over a long time, so it has been tuned to compensate for all these problems. And so the fact that model works, that means it's right. And the same problem with the ocean too. Okay? Because we always use this buoy weight. So now we look at ocean results, we say, okay, it's not right, we adjust it. Okay? But the same kind of thing may not be the one that is right. So the physics part actually may be wrong. The LC interface is the most difficult problem. Okay? And this becomes a real serious problem, as we just heard, when you work on the climate. Because now you have to couple them together. Okay. The problem is probably the reason why each model seems to work today is just because they've been tuned, because you have a lot of experiences. Okay. Now you couple them together, they can't be tuned anymore. Okay. And so they can equilibrate results. Okay. And so then people again try to tune. And that's basically the state of art. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with doing what I just tell you, okay? Because that's what our science is all about. Okay. It makes science actually very challenging. Because there's a lot of problems you can solve. And so you don't really have to necessarily believe a famous professor to tell you something, because he may be completely wrong. Okay? And so that's quite different from, I guess, physics, right? If you get Nobel Prize guy sitting here, you probably got to be right. Okay? But I think in the atmosphere in science, actually a lot of things are true because the need to make prediction with very limited data. That's the problem. And so it actually opens up a lot of internal questions. Okay? Maybe since most of you are very young people, maybe you have an idea, and maybe you're not affected by people like us that already been taught with all this stuff. Okay? And so I think that's again, I guess, consumer why I gave this talk, to try to get your interest into this doing research in hydrology or atmospheric science or oceanography, because there's a lot of things actually are very interesting and challenging.
Okay, so I guess we have to stop here because we have a second talk and we're going to take a short break. Okay, before breaking, I want to say a few things in Chinese. 今天我们在这里是一个从早上到还有一个演讲，是一个 mini workshop。那这个 mini workshop 的主要的原因呢，是因为一方面这个汪老师他回台湾邀请他的演讲，然后还有2位韩国的教授，也是这个汉城大学的 School of Earth and Environmental Sciences。那这个他们的 Director Professor King。和这个他们的大气系主任Professor Ho来到我们中间。那最近这个韩国的这个研究可以说是突飞猛进。那当然这个在他们教育部的这个投资方面或是对 Ministry of Science and Technology， 有非常多的投资。 那他们的这个，他们常常是教授要出国的话是要陪学生出国，如果学生不出国的话，教授也不能出国，这是一个他们的做法。然后他们这个学生的这个每年他们的 school， 他们学生能够就是用在学生身上的经费有多少？他们大概差不多有230个学生，一年经费呢大概是6000万台币，6000万台币，不包括任何的这个实验的需要，只有在学生的生活费，还有加上这个出国旅行费，所以就他们有非常大的投资。那当然他们的这个要求也非常非常的严格，他们这个计划呢，韩国全国叫做Brain Korea 21st century， 所以就是说他们这个有非常大的一个这个投资，然后非常大的这个也是很大的这样的一个期望，就是在未来的21世纪的他们这个韩国可以有非常杰出的科学领导，就是在过去呢，也许这个他们跟我们差不多，在未来的话，可能他们会这个有非常多的领导人才出来所以我们讲，我们也需要这个急起直追或口号除外，就是说需要大家对这个事情也要稍微注意到，知道世界上的变化。那我想今天汪老师和这个Leo Ois 黄先生黄那他是印尼的华侨那他们非常非常杰出，能够把这个最好的 model 做出来。但是呢，就是说这个更基本是发现这些模式的基本的这些东西都是还有非常多的空间是要去发展。OK， 好，那我们现在暂时在这边休息5分钟。